Well, here we are again. The swamp is back in full force.
Do you want $286 million for Title X, Title 10 family planning, which is an abortion clinic? Folks, the list goes on and on. This is insanity.
Republicans simply cannot righteously denounce Democrats' disastrous policies that are destroying our great country and then turn around and fund them.
This is not a Republican bill. This is a Chuck Schumer, Democrat-controlled bill coming from the House majority that is supposed to be controlled by Republicans, but yet our majority has been completely
Members are reminded to direct their
Democrats.
remarks to the chair.
It's important that we understand that the American people don't expect us to win every time, but they sure as hell expect us to fight, and that's not what we're doing. We should not be fighting for this. This is garbage.
This is business as usual in the swamp. And here's the deal to my Republican colleagues. You will own every single bit of this. If you vote for this bill, you own it. DHS funding contingent on signing H.R. 2 into law. That's what we did last year to make sure our border would be secure. That is punted, so you own it. Defunding Alejandro Mayorkas. We did that in our bill. This punts that. It's no longer there. You own it. My Republican colleagues cannot go campaign against mass parole and use the name of Laken Riley because you pass a bill in her name when you fund the very policies that lead to her death. Any of my Republican colleagues who want to spend this year campaigning against open borders, it's a laugh. Because today, if you vote for this abomination of a bill, you will be voting to fund it. You will be voting to fund the very policies that you will campaign against. This is the swamp acting what it does. Have government funding expire on the Friday before a 2-week recess heading into Easter, precisely to have the pressure of jet fumes so that the American people are the ones left holding the bag, so that we, members of Congress, can go off to our Codels, can go travel, can go do your fundraisers, can make sure you get home. But the ones left holding the bag are the American people.
2 minutes. The gentleman
Thank
is
you, Madam
recognized.
Speaker. I want to thank the full committee chairwoman, Chairwoman Granger, and also the Speaker for bringing us to this point. Let me tell you, I'm proud of the state and foreign operations portion of the bill that we're dealing with today. And let's talk about what the bill actually, let's take out a little bit of the noise and the rhetoric. Let's talk about what's in the bill. It includes a 6% reduction from fiscal year 23. And let's be clear, we're at a critical moment in our history. One of our most important allies is in time of its greatest need, and this bill answers the call. It is the strongest pro-Israel state and foreign operations bill that we have ever seen. If this legislation were not to pass, we lose the protection of free speech by limiting how funds can be used under the pretext of countering disinformation. If this legislation were not to pass, we would go back to current law. We would lose the restrictions that only U.S. flags may be flown or displayed over a facility of the State Department.
It is ironic that the group that has made compromise the most difficult over the last year continues to oppose compromise. Legislative action is about compromise. This is a responsible compromise. As so many of the chairs of the subcommittees on the Republican side have said, the alternative is the least responsible action that we could take. I urge my colleagues to vote for this bill as the responsible, effective alternative, notwithstanding the fact that the operations up to this point of the Appropriations Committee have not been what they ought to be, and we all understand that. But it is our collective failure, caused, as I said, by a group who does not want compromise. Pass this bill. America needs this bill. It is a shame it's not going to be followed by passing aid for Ukraine. I yield back the balance of my time.
The gentleman yields. The gentleman from Texas is recognized.
Well, the distinguished former majority leader brings up FSGG, the financial services bill. What he left out was the fact that we're going to give $200 million to the FBI for its new headquarters, even after Republicans touted in the last massive omnibus bill that we were cutting the FBI, and then relied upon getting rid of an earmark in Alabama to claim that it was a bigger cut than it really is. Now what is happening to the American people? Guess what? The FBI is getting a brand new shiny headquarters despite running ramshot over the American people, spying on them. And by the way, we extended FISA to continue spying on the American people.
I woke up this morning to a text from an elderly lady. We are under attack, Congressman. Can Congress do anything to protect our borders? The blood of further deaths of Americans is on your hands. I disagree with my colleague, my good friends on the right side. This is anything but a national security bill. Here's what I call on, here's the fix. I call on our speaker, and he's the only one can do it, to vote this bill down, take that mace down, which has to be in place. It's been in place for 182 years to have session in the House of Representatives, cut the lights off, and until the Senate accepts a total shutdown of the border, until they accept a total H.R. 2, we don't come back. Why fund a government that's working against us? It is total insanity.
To my House and Senate Republican colleagues, it's time to put your vote where your values are. Because you can't claim to be a pro-life champion and then fund abortion travel, and aborted fetal tissue research. You can't rail against President Biden's intentional illegal invasion and then fund the policies that are causing the chaos without assuming the same responsibility. Just like you can't flaunt your vote to impeach Secretary Mayorkas and then fully fund his salary and his destructive border policies. You can't defend America's Second Amendment liberties and then fund gun control by the CDC. And you cannot support science and protect young women and then fund transgender surgeries and fund educational institutions that allow biological males to compete in women's sports. And I don't call them men because they're not real men. Real men protect women. They don't use their superior strength to steal the honor, hard work, and achievements of women.
I rise in extreme opposition to the second part of the omnibus bill. No Republican in the House of Representatives in good conscience can vote for this bill. It is a complete departure of all of our principles, especially if you call yourself pro-life. This bill funds full-term abortion. It is the will of our voters, and it is the will of Republicans across the country that this bill should not be brought to the floor, that this bill will absolutely destroy our majority, and will tell every single one of our voters that this majority is a failure. This is the bill that the White House cannot wait to sign into law. This is the bill that rips our border wide open and tells every single person in over 160 countries around the world they can invade our country, they can run over our Border Patrol, they can run over our Texas National Guard, they can come in, rape our women, murder our people, and squat and take over our homes. This is an atrocious attack on the American people. The Speaker of the House should not bring it to the floor, and this bill should not pass.
We know a few things that are in it. We know it spends too much money. We know it's got money to groom our children down to ages of 12 into being trans. We know it's got funding for facilities that do late-term abortions. Why would Republicans vote for that? Because it's got a dangerous cocktail that the swamp has always served. And we're drunk on it today.
Everybody who votes for this bill today, you own it. Don't go out and campaign this year saying you oppose this stuff when you write the check, because that's what's happening today. Every single Republican, every single Democrat who votes for this omnibus spending bill today, they own it. They own the open borders. They own the woke military that we cannot recruit people to fight in. They own giving our sovereignty to World Health Organization and international bodies. They own more funding for the Wuhan lab. Yeah, that's all in there. They own it. We should vote no. You want to win in November? Vote no. I yield back.
The gentleman yields.
Madam Speaker, I reserve the balance of my time.
The gentlelady reserves. The gentleman from Connecticut is recognized.
Mr. Speaker, 11,388 members have served historically in the United States House of Representatives. We are blessed, and what we are charged with is serving the American people. That is our job. It is not serving our individual philosophies, ideologies, or whatever it is that we believe. We need to govern on behalf of the American people. And I'm proud to have been working with Democrats and Republicans united to make government work for the people of this country. It's a bipartisan bill. It sides with hardworking majority of the Americans. It helps to lower that cost of living. It protects women's rights. It reinforces America's global leadership. And yes, it helps our communities be safe and secure. It is not about what we do, is not about those of us who serve in this chamber. It is about what we do on behalf of the people of this country outside of this chamber. This bill serves the American people, and it has Democrat and Republican support to move forward. We are 6 months into this 2024 year. We have been unable to do the work of the people because some people will hold us back. Again, our job, why we are elected, is to serve the American people. That's what we are charged with. Never forget that we are blessed to serve here, and we have a duty to perform and to do what is right. I urge my colleagues to support this bill. It makes sense for us to do it, and we do it because we represent hard-working families in this country who put their faith and trust in us to do this job on their behalf. I yield back.
Gentlelady yields. The gentlelady from Texas is recognized.
Mr. Speaker, I urge my colleagues to support this bill, and I yield back the balance of my time.
The gentlelady yields. The question is, will the House suspend the rules and agree to Resolution 1102? Those in favor say aye. Those opposed say no. In the opinion of the chair, 2/3 being in the affirmative, the rules are suspended. The gentleman from Texas is recognized.
Request the yeas and nays.
The yeas and nays are requested. Those in favor of a vote by the yeas and nays will rise. A sufficient number having risen, the yeas and nays are now ordered. Members will record their votes by electronic device. Pursuant to Clause 9 of Rule 20, this is a 15-minute vote on the motion to suspend the rules. On this vote, the yeas are 286, the nays are 134. 2/3 being in the affirmative, the rules are suspended. The resolution is agreed to, and without objection, the motion to reconsider is laid on the table.